welcome to episode 3 of Pardon Your French podcast. I'm Vanessa Chernoff.
I'm Stephanie Lauren.
And today we're going to interview Stephanie's son Carter and talk to him about his experience moving to France at age 6. It's going to be brilliant. I'm here with Carter. He's Stephanie's son, and we're just going to talk about your experience since moving to France. Is that going to be cool?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you remember your very first day in France?
Oh, yeah. I arrived, I had this blindfold on me.
Yeah.
And they took the blindfold off, and I was like...
Why did they blindfold you?
Because I wanted, to surprise me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I just saw Jasmine on the other side, and she was like...
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, my new house.
Did you know that you wanted to move here? Or did you want to move into one of the other houses?
At the start, I wanted to move into a city, and I still do.
Yeah. It's
I like
hard living
cities.
out in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, when you knew that you were going to end up moving here, what are some of the things that started going through your mind, thinking you're moving to a place where you couldn't understand anybody, you didn't know anyone?
Am I going to fit in? Is it going to work? And what's going to happen?
Did you feel pretty confident you were going to be okay, though, because you were with your mom and granddad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A tiny bit.
Did you know any French words when you first moved here?
Bonjour.
Yeah. That's it?
Yep.
Oh, wow. And what do you think was your first big shock?
When I was on the ferry and I was passing the border or something,
Yeah.
and I saw France, a little bit of Paris, and
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
It's completely different looking from where you came from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the ferry trip?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this big building, and it was being built, and I was like, it had a ton of nice flashy colours on it, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
It's a bit like New York.
Do you want to tell me about your first day at school?
I arrived at school, and my mum was like, goodbye. And I could tell from the vibe, she was like, what's going to happen when he goes back home?
Yeah.
And I walked into school, and I was like, this is not England. And I was like, oh, wait, where's my class? And I was running around the school for about either 2 hours or 1 hour.
They didn't have anyone there to greet you, to
Nope.
show you where you're going, or no teacher to say.
So I just
This is it.
walked in, and I was like, where am I? What hall am I? And where am I going?
Oh my goodness.
So I was just standing there whilst Mum was driving off, and I was like, I am stranded at school. What am I going to do?
Stay here all day and not understand a single thing that's going on.
But I got scared,
Yeah.
and I
bet.
started running through the school speaking English, going, sir, where's my class? And I made a friend because he said, luckily this kid was English.
Oh.
And it was like a CZM.
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, you're all the way back there. And I was at CP.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be a long trip.
So what does CP mean?
Second? No, first grade. Yeah.
And CZM, what's CZM?
6th grade.
Okay. So it's CP, and then what do you go? What's the next year after CP?
CP is C1, C2, CM1, CM2, CZM.
Huh?
CZM is college.
Yeah, c'est compliqué.
Bah oui.
They don't just go in an order of numbers. Yeah, that's madness. So, do you have some friends?
Almost the whole school.
Yeah. How did you make your first friend?
My first friend, Aaron, he came to me and he was like, hello. And I went, bonjour. And the 2 seconds I saw him was really awkward.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, yeah, we could be friends. 2 years later, we're best friends.
Nice.
And then 3 years later, we're best buddies in the world.
Nice.
It's really good.
Yeah. So when you say it was like really awkward and stuff, was it just because you didn't speak enough French yet, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was just a big silence for 2 seconds.
Yeah. And how did he know to communicate? How did you guys?
He just thought I was cool.
Yeah. But he just kept talking to you in French and waited until you could understand him.
He had a pocket translator he used to slip in school.
Oh, okay.
And he was like typing all this stuff, and there were certain words he said I understood, but then he kind of helped me a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
With the pocket translator.
Nice. And then how long do you think it took you in school to understand what the teachers were saying and things like that? How many days do you think you had to go, or how many months do you think you had to go to school before you knew what was happening?
CP, and then C1 was like, I understand it now. Now I'm in CM1. Now I understand what the teacher's saying, like, completely. I could have a full-on blown conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really like the CP teacher. Because she kind of disrespected me.
Yeah.
She was really annoying.
How so? How would you explain her disrespect?
She was kind of like, she was my homeroom teacher, and she was like a little bit like, how can I explain? Like, she never picked me, and she never really, like, communicated, and she shouted when I got something wrong and stuff like that. No patience.
Yeah. Do you think that she was like that with everyone? Or do you not know because you didn't? Was she like that with the other kids who maybe weren't as good in school yet?
No.
No, just you.
Just me.
Were you the only English person in your class?
No. No, yeah, in my class, but there was other people in the school that were English.
You are such a brave kid. Because, yeah, it's really interesting to hear what your experience was like. A lot of people don't understand when they bring their kids to a foreign country how scary it can be when they first show up at a school and they can't even find their way to their classroom. Did you, when you were doing your school work, when you first started, did the teachers say, like, oh, Carter, no problem, like, when you do what you can, you'll get better over time, or did they just expect you to have...
Expect me to have it, and they didn't help me.
No, at all. So you just didn't get...
the amount of help I needed.
Yeah, and you didn't get any of the stuff, like, you got bad marks when you first got here because you couldn't do anything. You didn't even know, like, what's she saying? Terrible
marks, and they were like, are you dumb? And I'm like, no. And she's like, you've lived here all your life and you don't even know a word of French. You're dumb. I'm like, no, I moved here 3 months ago, actually. I have to wait an extra year because I got held back.
Well, you spent quite a lot of time not speaking any French. And
yeah, because if I got pulled into... Is it deuxième? No. CM2, my head would explode.
Yeah.
So they had to start me from CP,
yeah,
C1, C2, CM1, stuff like that.
So when you first got here, you moved here in December, right? So you started school right away in January after Christmas, basically, after Christmas holidays.
Yep.
So the school year was already halfway finished anyway, right?
That was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. By fun, you mean complicated. When you get, like, homework and stuff like that, and you bring it back...
No.
Yeah, or even then, when you had homework and you bring it home, obviously your mom and granddad can't really help you with it. So what did you do? Did you just guess and then bring it back and get bad marks, or...
I didn't do it.
You just didn't do it.
No.
You were like,
I used Google Translate on a few words, then that's too much for me.
yeah.
But now it's easy.
Yeah. Now you're a good student.
Mm.
Did you make friends straight away?
No.
How long do you think it took you to make some friends?
3 months.
3 months.
For 5 friends.
Not bad though. Yeah. So for 3 months you didn't speak to anyone in school?
I mean, like, at one point I was so weirded out that I hid under my desk. Like,
now how are they? I mean,
I got transferred to a new school.
Yeah.
Because the other ones sucked.
And so this new school, are they more helpful? I mean, I know you said you got a bit of help, but like if in other situations, you know, if you needed help, you know, you could go to them and then they would do something to make sure you're okay. Yeah. And are they pretty good talking to your mom as well? Because she doesn't speak. Do you have to go and translate when she has meetings and stuff?
Yeah.
And you have to tell her, like, oh, they said Carter is a really smart kid and he's doing really well. And you're like, I'm great.
I'm great.
I'm great. What do you think of school now? Like, do you like it? Now that you know what's going on and stuff?
It's like an English school. It's like, oh, good school.
It's like, oh man, I have to go here every day.
Yep. There's a place where we're going at the end of the year. It's called Arcachon. And there's something called the Dune du Pilat. And it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a big sand dune where it moves every 4 years.
Have you been to it before?
No.
I've driven past it, but all the people climb up to the top of it.
Yeah.
And then they like slide down or whatever. But it's a really difficult climb because you're in sand, so your legs like are sliding down the whole time you're trying to climb up.
But it's going to be like free roam, so...
Oh, you're going with school?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I might go with Mum one day.
Yeah. But Bassin d'Arcachon, it's good.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty going to the beach and stuff. You must miss seeing the ocean.
Yeah.
Because you guys you lived so close to the sea when you lived in England.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Do you know how many meters it is? 160 or something like that.
The Dune du Pilat?
Yeah.
Oh wow, impressive. Yeah, it's big. Well, that'll be a good adventure.
Yeah. Is it in the forest or like close to the forest?
Sort of. It's like the ocean, the beach, and then right at the edge of the beach, the back, and then the trees.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it like backs up to the forest, to the dune forest. Forest grows at the edge of the dunes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So school takes you on trips?
5 times a year. We went into a grot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And my friend got stuck.
Do you know what a grot is in English?
Cave.
Yeah.
So we went to a really deep one.
Cool.
It was a bit like the catacombs, but no bones.
No dead people.
No.
And then, so what are some other cool trips you've been on? I always think that school trips in France are really good.
Yeah, but England, they take you like on destinations, are they?
Do they? I don't know.
Oh no.
I didn't go to school in England, so I don't know. We didn't go on that great of school trips when I was a kid. Did they take you to the Pyrenees for skiing or?
No, not. They only do that in 6e and 5e and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend gets sometimes taken to like places like that.
Yeah.
But when you're in like middle school, no, not middle school, primary school, they're only obligated or allowed to take you not in a different country or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Or by plane or nothing like that.
No.
Only like CGM or higher grade. Because you're trusted more.
Have you been able to make friends that don't go to your school?
Yeah.
And how do you think you've made friends with people, like in summertime or whatever?
I think they just think I'm cool.
Yeah. Well, I think you're cool. Have you joined any activities? Do you play any sports or instruments or anything? Yeah.
I play the trombone.
Yeah.
I think it's a trombone.
What do they call it in French?
Tuba.
It's a tuba then. And you're in the school band?
No, only the CM ones do it because the M2s have already done it, so it's our turn.
Would you prefer to play a different instrument?
I kinda wanted to play the clarinet.
Yeah. They were like, this is the heaviest instrument. CJ's got it.
You have to do it.
Yeah. And do you enjoy it though?
Yeah, I like it.
You play video games though, don't you?
Yeah, I really like video games.
So you do online gaming? You have your headset and microphone?
Yeah.
And
sometimes I play with headset.
And do you mainly play with other French people online if you're playing with headset? Or comments? If they're talking to each other. Is it in
Sometimes
French?
my friend invites another friend to the party. That's French sometimes.
And then when you're with a group of people and one of them is French and the rest are English, do you speak French or do you speak English?
I can double task.
You just mix. Yeah.
I have words I don't understand, so I search for sometimes days in a dictionary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's an E word. Go to E. No, next word A. No, it's an E, and it was really hard.
Because obviously your mom and granddad sometimes need help translating or talking to somebody or finding something. Do you ever have situations where you don't know the word just because you've never used it?
Once or twice.
Yeah. If you met yourself at 5 years old, about to move to France, what would you tell your younger self?
Persevere.
Yeah.
Try your best and think and remember.
Yeah.
And try your hardest.
Man, what if you were talking to somebody whose parents were planning to move to France? Another 10-year-old say.
First thing you want to do is get a tutor.
Yeah. And have them help you get prepared for French.
3 days a week is good.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be a skydiver trainer.
Really? Yeah, so you're very brave, super adventurous.
And then I want to be a businessman.
Yeah.
Because skydiving doesn't pay a lot. It's a bit of a hobby.
Yeah. Well, a fun one, though.
A fun one.
Dangerous one.
I like it.
Yeah. Have you been skydiving before?
No, I really want to.
I think you've got to be a little bit older before they let you jump out of an airplane.
16 to do it with somebody else.
Nice. So we know what you're getting for your 16th birthday then. What's your favorite thing about France?
Baguette and cheese.
Yeah. I thought you liked pain au chocolat.
Yeah.
Chocolatine. Do you call them pain au chocolat or chocolatine?
Pain au chocolat.
Good boy. That's what we call them here. Yeah, but other places in France they call them chocolatine.
Why do they call them chocolatine?
I don't know. Because they're French.
That's what my teacher says sometimes.
What is your least favorite thing about living in France?
No offense, but French people can't drive for peanuts. No offense.
So basically riding in cars. It's terrifying. Yeah. That's your least favorite thing about living in France. You're not doing so bad then, are you? What's your favorite French word that you've learned? It can't be a swear word either.
I don't know why, but I just like calculus. I like the word calculus.
Yeah.
Calculus. Désordre.
Désordre?
Disorder.
Yeah.
This is in disorder.
Yeah.
This mug is in disorder.
This must be something you hear often.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Cool. So you've just started doing this association for the commune, basically, and you have now been elected?
my official translator.
Official translator. And are you liking that so far?
Oh yeah, it's fun. I translate for the association.
Yeah. And do you find that there are a lot of people who speak English that need help translating?
2 people, Mum and Natalie.
Yeah. And they both need translating.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could just tell them whatever you wanted, couldn't you? You could be like, they said. I'm giving you bad ideas. Don't do that.
I've done that already.
Naughty. I want to thank you again for coming on to the show. Have you had an alright time?
Yeah, fun time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Bit complicated?
Bit complicated.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say to our viewers? Is there anything you'd want to say to anybody potentially planning on bringing their kids out here?
Think about a lot of stuff that could have a big impact on your kid.
Well, thank you very much, CJ. When you decided that you wanted to move to France, were you nervous about the idea of uprooting Carter from everything he knew, chucking him into a school where he didn't speak a word of French? Oh, one word, bonjour. Chucking him into a school and then driving off, like that first day when you dropped him off and drove away, what did you think as you went?
The idea of doing what I did, I was quite gung-ho and fearless, and I was quite logical about it. And then day one, we moved in the December, and then the January was like day one of him attending his brand new Catholic private school. And I was like, oh my God, I woke him up at like 6 a.m. And I was like, right, get your uniform on and it's time to get ready for school. And I was driving him to school and I dropped him off and I had to let him go. I was quite excited and upbeat for him, to be honest. And I guess I just didn't really think it through. I was like, he's going to school, let's get him to school, end of. And then day one, day two, it was like, oh, I had a good day, blah, blah, blah. And then give it a few weeks and the cracks started to show. And I would dread dropping him off and picking him up because I was like, I can't. And then every time he was at school, I was constantly thinking about, is he okay? Is he safe? Is he happy? Is he where he should be? I don't know. And then after a few months of being in school, it transpired he wasn't where he should be. He wasn't happy and he was completely traumatized. So 4 or 5 months of living in France, I was like, what have I done? Do I go back? I don't know where to go from here. And as a single mum, the pressure is all on your shoulders for making decisions and thinking things through.
Were you talking to his dad much at that time?
Yeah. We were talking, but it was more practical, logistical things. It wasn't the ins and outs of my day. And my day could completely, and we were trying to get the house ready. So my day could be like, I'm going to drop Carter, get paint, come home, decorate. I have to leave by 2:30 in the afternoon to have an hour to go back to collect him and stuff. And there was an originally English girl, who was so like Frenchified, but she was like, I get it, this is really difficult. But she questioned me a lot on the why. Why did I move here? And I felt I should be free. I shouldn't have to justify to you why I've done this. And that school was quite pressurized. And I didn't think they had the kids' best in emotions or intentions at heart. I felt it was more about reputation and stats that school cared about. So I had an inkling of taking him out. And I was like, where do I go next? how do I get him into a local school, which I had been warned about by other Brits. So a tip there is go on your own experiences. Don't take advice from other people that may have had experiences that you may not.
Yeah. The private schools generally are Catholic.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
So when you put him into that, is he meant? I mean, are you Catholic?
Never Catholic. I wouldn't say we're Christian. I have a feeling and a belief, but we don't go to church. We don't like sit out and pray. We're not participants in any religion.
And then did they have religion classes in the school? Was he forced to go to mass once a week or twice a week or something, you know?
I would ask questions, but I wasn't always given an actual answer or an insight to anything, and I would read their little books to try and get an update on the day. And I have to say, he came back with like bruises on his arms, his fingers, his face. And on one particular occasion, I do remember a dad with their son coming up to me and having to apologise for the son's racist remarks on Carter. So not only was he English, didn't speak the language, and black, it was so hard.
Yeah.
And every fibre as a mama wanted to run
and
keep him safe.
Yeah.
However, my other part of my brain was, I know his potential. I know how resilient and how strong he is. He's got this. This is a freaking learning curve.
For both of you.
For both of us.
Yeah.
But you can't give up at the first hurdle. My advice would be, this is not for every child. Think long and hard before you decide that living in France is your dream. Your kids would love it to be bilingual and da-da-da-da-da. That's the dream. But the reality behind this, the sleepless nights, the sick feeling, the worrying about your child never goes away. Can you cope with that? If Carter wasn't who Carter is, I would have given up 6 months in.
Yeah, I mean, even the way he talks about it now, he sounds like things are going really well. He doesn't really discuss anything particularly bad about his experience. That, you know, there's general fear and anxiety associated with, you know, that first go round where he just sat there and didn't know anything, couldn't find his class and things like that. But in general, he sounds, you know, like in the end, it's worked out. He's got mates and
yeah.
And he's doing well in school now, and he's happy and well adjusted.
Absolutely. And I'm so proud of him for getting to that position. But most parents would want to know from a parental side of things how it's going to look, feel and act. And it is nothing like you will see on the TV or in these programs or anything. The harsh realities are so far from it. When you see your child turn up with bruises, or their gait, their walk is so disheartened and disjointed and not who they are, like their heart and soul is not connected.
Yeah.
Hints, tips wise, I don't have any. My only advice would be, oh my God, prepare yourself for the worst of the worst of the worst. This is not sunshine and roses moving to a different country and putting your kid in a foreign school where they speak none of the language. And I know from things that I've heard and read, a lot of people go, oh, well, if your child's like 5 or 6, you know, they're not really integrated into English school, so the transition is so much easier. Forget that. Anything can happen. He had a rough year the first year, but as soon as he got under the directrice, like the head teacher, I knew straight away that Mama Bear, that she loved him as much as I did. Like, she took him under her wing. So that's what you have to look for. Does that female or that male that is outside of your family care about your child, his safety, his wealth and his health and his mental well-being as much as you do, because that is going to be the difference between him being a flourishing, bilingual, happy-go-lucky kid and someone that is masking trauma and detesting every single school day of their life and just living for the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, a lot of people that have moved here are in mum and dad families, and the mum has that support system. I didn't have that. I guess the pressure was on me that much more because I also wanted his dad to feel like he's safe here, he's on a path, this is worth it. So trying to justify that to his dad, it was incredibly hard, and there was a lot of raw conversations at one point, and I thought, do I send Carter back to school in England and then come out here for like holidays and summer? But I know I can't be away from him.
Yeah.
It was all such a risk, and there is not a plan that I could give anybody apart from take each moment and every day and every minute in the present, looking back now and how far he has come under the right teachers. It's phenomenal, and every day I'm like, I hope you've enjoyed today's long ass episode. Episode 4, we are gonna bring you with my good friend Natalie, my lovely sweet, who is going to talk about her journey of breast cancer that started in the UK. She moved to France and had to have another round of treatment. And she is one hell of a good gardener. We'll learn about all of that from my Natalie Sweet in episode 4, and it's going to be the journey about the big C, but also how being able to live in France, the climate, and being able to grow her own fresh fruit and vegetables has massively helped her on her health journey. She can guide you too. So, peace.